It's a beautiful day in Italy today. Of course, it's always beautiful when you are driving a sports car. I am in the Porsche Panamera GTS. And in fact, I'm here to drive every single GTS that Porsche sells. Of course, you can get the GTS package on everything from the Cayman to the Boxster to the 911, to the Panamera, to the Taycan, to the Cayenne, to the Macan. So every Porsche model that you can buy as a GTS, as this one is equipped. It's the Panamera. Now, what I'm here to do is to explain what I think are the three parts of the GTS badge. Of course, GTS is Gran Turismo Sport. What I've done is I've picked three cars to show on video. We're gonna have an article that's gonna go more into depth in the nerdiness of GTS and all the cars that I will have driven today. On video, you're just gonna see three. I'm driving the Porsche Panamera GTS on the road. I'm going to drive a Porsche sports car on the track, and a special car from Porsche's GTS history, a historic car. And I think that together the three parts of the GTS badge that matter are road, is it an everyday usable road car, track, could you take it to the track if you wanted to, and history, why do people care about this badge? Now, the car I'm in is the Porsche Panamera GTS. What you need to know is 478 horsepower, 457 pound-feet of torque. That will take this all-wheel drive car to 60 miles an hour in 3.7 seconds or 100 kilometers an hour in 3.9. The Porsche Panamera GTS starts at 148.9. As you see it, this one of course has so many options. They've told me what all the options on this car are, but they haven't told me how much they all cost. But suffice to say, this is probably getting close to the 180 range as you see it. Let's get on the road and I will explain a little bit about what the GTS means in Porsche speak and why I like this car. So, the GTS is slotted above the S and below a turbo or a GT model like a GT3, GT4, etc. I think that currently the GTS models of Porsche are actually the most Porsche of the Porsche models. I think they focus on driving enjoyment rather than outright speed. And really, I think the GT cars, GT3, GT4, GT2, really those are just race cars. Those are purely track cars. And I think that, Porsches really excel here on the road. To that angle, the Panamera is very enjoyable. It is a big car, 4,488 pounds. But it's not that big, actually. It shrinks around you, and part of the reason it is able, excuse my navigation, and part of the reason it's able to do that is because it has rear wheel steering. And what that does is, virtually shrink the wheelbase. It makes the car feel lighter, more agile, more nimble than a proper four-door, four-seater sedan should be. What I'm seeing here is that the GTS really does blend all the elements that make a Porsche a good car into one package. I really think that if you gave me a coupon and said, Clayton, you can have whatever insert Porsche model you want, I'd probably end up going home with the GTS just because it's a good all-rounder. They're very exciting, very sporty cars. So what features do all GTS models have? Well, currently they all have uprated power versus the S, so increased horsepower. You also have smoked taillights and headlights, so they have kind of a certain look going on. You also have blacked out door trim and black wheels. So the GTS models currently do have a unique look. You also get Sport Chrono package, which comes with launch control. Every GTS has launch control. Base Porsches without Sport Chrono do not have launch control. So that's kind of nice to have. Under the hood, of course, you've got plenty of power. This is a 4-liter twin-turbo V8, 478 horsepower, 457 pounds-feet of torque, and it is very fast. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 3.9 seconds, 0 to 60 miles an hour in 3.7. That is with using launch control, which this car has. But more than the speed, it's the sensations, it's the fun. It's a car that encourages flicking the knob to sport mode, having some fun, and driving it with some brio. Other things that make this a great road car, well, it's very comfortable. There's acoustic glass, the sound insulation is incredible. I've got heated steering wheel, heated seats, I've got Bose surround sound audio. This is truly a car you could drive for hundreds and hundreds of miles. It is a comfortable car you can drive every day, and then you turn the little drive mode knob into Sport or Sport Plus, and it does dial up a little more aggression as you need it. I can't really express how good the steering is in this for a sedan. The steering weight, the feel, the way that this car feels so nimble. Like, it really is more in a class of maybe a sports coupe than a typical sports sedan in terms of steering feel balance. It's safe to say that the Porsche Panamera excels on the road. It is a wonderful road car, but now we need to explore the other side of that GTS badge, mostly the S, the Sport. And for that, we head to the track. In the Panamera, we talked about the road driving experience. Now in the 911 GTS, we're going to talk about the track. I have previously driven this car around the track. I have hot lapped it as fast as a guy like me can go. This is not going to be that. I'm just going to be talking about this car because I can do one. I can drive or I can talk. So I'm choosing talk. Now we're talking about the S in GTS, the Sport. This is the Porsche 911 GTS Flat 6 Twin Turbo. This is an all-wheel drive car, and it is an emotional car to drive compared to, like I was saying in the Panamera, this slots above the S and below the Turbo or GT3 models. So this is the intermediate step, and in my opinion, it's the most fun. This car has just enough power to be playful. It's fast. You put your foot down, and it's fast. But it's not like mind-bending like the Turbo S is, or like a GT3 would be. This is a road car, and I like that it's usable. It's comfortable, it's fun, it's a very good mix. It's a great all-rounder. If you offered me any Porsche 911, then I would probably take a GTS. It's a good all-rounder. Now, this is not the most hard edge or the fastest 911 there is. It's a good mix. This one is equipped with Porsche carbon ceramic brakes, which means you can do track days all day long. They really do have great braking confidence, but any 911 just has great steering feel. But that said, you can still step on it and it moves out. It's available with a 7-speed manual or as equipped with a PDK automatic. Honestly, on a track, the PDK is great. It's very intuitive. It always knows what gear you want to be in, and it does it. When people think of a Porsche GTS anything, they probably think of this car. It's not as elemental as the Porsche Cayman or Boxster 718 GTS 4.0. Those cars are naturally aspirated, a little bit more towards an RS product. But the GTS, I picked this car to drive on video because I think it really shows what the modern GTS Porsches are all about. They're about the joy of driving, sporty driving, but also a usable car that you can drive anytime. You could road trip this, or you could take it to a track day. You could do both. And in my opinion, that's the beauty of the GTS. Now, currently GTS means a very nice Porsche that you could drive every day, but it didn't always mean that. And to show what it used to mean, we're gonna go back a few decades, and I'll show you what we're driving next. Well, like I said, all days in Italy are good, but some are better than others because some days you get to drive the 1981 Porsche GTS with no air conditioning. Pardon me, it's very hot. So this is a homologation car that Porsche built to go racing. They made just 50 of them, and of those 50, 15 were turned into total race cars. So this would be one of 35 that is a street version, street car. It's such a street car, it has no air conditioning, barely any interior, hollowed out doors, plastic windows that don't roll down, plastic windows all around, a big turbo, and about 200 horsepower. So this is not going to be a racing lap, this is going to be a cruise because this car is worth a lot. Not as much as a Toronto house, but a fraction of a house in Toronto. These are called lollipop seats. I like them. They're from the 935 program, and they're kind of cool because they look like a little guy trying to give you a hug, which is fun because it's so friendly. I'm wearing some harnesses. I think there's supposed to be a fifth one, but because we're journalists, we don't need to do the leg one today. It's a dog leg first gear. It is a 4-cylinder turbo. You don't care. Let's start this thing up and go for a drive. Key on the right. That's not shut. They're very light doors. Not intimidating at all. And we are off. So I'm really leaned back in these seats because they're designed for somebody with a helmet, which I'm not wearing a helmet today. It feels like a 924 with everything removed, which I suppose it kind of is. We are on Vallelunga circuit. Out of boost, nothing, nothing, nothing. There's the boost, all the boost. Oh my God, it's actually fast. I wasn't expecting this car to be actually fast, but it's actually fast. It's a 2-liter turbocharged single overhead cam engine, and it's the Volkswagen one. It's not the Porsche twin overhead cam that we're more used to. That's a gear. Okay, fifth is behind fourth. I was kind of forgetting that. So a lot of boost. To fourth. There's the boost. I can't explain how absolutely intimidating this car is to drive. Also, it needs a wheel alignment. It's shaking all over. This is a car that they are kind enough to take right from the Porsche Museum. That is third. I'm sorry, you have to bear with me. There's an upside down H pattern and there's long throws. Very confusing to me. All the boost. Yeah, it has 2 modes. It has VW van motor and all the boost. I think that's third. Not doing a great job. I'm trying my best. Oh my God, did you see that? The way it comes on the boost is just craziness. I don't know how much pressure this turbo runs, but I'm guessing it is quite some. Gear shift in a corner. If you haven't figured it out now, I'm not a race car driver. I am trying my best though. And by trying my best, I mean trying my best not to crash this thing or over rev it. This is a Porsche Museum car, and one of these has sold at auction for $250,000. 2,000 RPM, nothing happening. Well, boost. Into the S's. So Porsche, this is one of the first GTS cars. This is Porsche's history. This car was built to go racing. Unlike the other GTSs here, this is not one that you could really drive every day. This is a quite involved car. It is basically a racing car with some carpet. You can hear the gear whine for the transaxle behind me. This is not a regular car. And that's not reverse. That's fifth. That's terrifying. That's sub-speed. 100 miles an hour. Really short gearing. That's $3,000 at 140 kilometers, which I believe is 80 miles an hour. It's just so much fun. It's such a giant turbo. And this entire car is just like, you know, every other Porsche feels like it's very solidly and well built. And I'm sure that in a durability sense, this one is. That's fifth. I found fifth. Let's try third. Third. But this one feels not like that. 5,000 RPM. It showed 1.5 bar on the boost gauge, if that's to be believed. If that's accurate, that's a lot of boost. Oh my God, what a fun day. I'm gonna try third. Okay, I think that's a gear. I'm starting to learn the shifter. Honestly, having just jumped into this thing, it's kind of hard to learn. I think if I got used to it, it wouldn't be so bad. But I am very much trying to simply not break it. So, I think our hot lap is coming to a conclusion. Let's try third gear. Nope, let's try second. Here we go. Man, all that boost comes right on. Yeah, baby! How often do you get to do that with a museum car? Oh God, that's so much fun. So, Porsche's GTS name has a strong history, like most things within Porsche. It started with racing, the 904 GTS in 1967, and then was continued by this, the 924 GTS from 1981. These were cars you could not drive every day, but the idea of GTS has been refined through Porsche over the years until we have the GTS that we know today as the most Porsche. And I think that this is probably the most Porsche 924 they made, and those are real pops behind me. That was altogether too brief drive in the Porsche 924. If you're going to comment about my bad driving, I know. From Vallelunga Circuit in Italy, I am Clayton Seams for Driving.ca, and if you want to read a more in-depth review about Porsche GTS models and their history, don't forget to check out our website at Driving.ca.